Hey guys, Dave from DRC Racing Garage. We're going to be going over some more race fuel. We're going to be doing the oxygenated fuel and the nitrous fuel today. We did do the regular race fuel for non-nitrous motors. We went from the 110 all the way up to the 120. It's on a previous video. I believe it's the second video back on my channel. And this is Outlaw Racing Fuel. We are a Florida-based company. About 95% of our business is in Florida. We have a little bit of dealers up in Georgia, and then just a couple scattered across the eastern part of the United States, but we're mostly a Florida-based company. Jeff Kittles is the owner. He's based in Titusville, Florida. I'm on the west coast of Florida. I'm really good friends with Jeff, so I live really close to Bradenton Motorsports Park, so we do sell some race fuel for him over here. Some things you're going to hear me talk about today is the MON, the RON, and the SG. Okay, and I'm just going to go over. I wrote all this stuff down. I'm going to read off that, and then I'm going to go off the pamphlet and read you every single section on the oxygenated and the nitrous fuel. Okay. And I'm going to read this just so you understand what I'm talking about, and it explains what they are. The MON is motor octane number that is figured on an engine under heavy load. The RON is the research octane number that is figured on an engine under no load. The R plus M/2 is the average of both of those. So the R plus M/2 is the average of the MON and the RON. Okay, it takes X pounds of fuel to make certain power. So lighter SG needs a bigger jet to flow so many pounds of fuel. A heavier SG takes a smaller jet to do the same. And this part here is key, especially tuning nitrous engines. Lighter fuel, tighter tuning window. So the lighter the fuel, the smaller the tuning window. Okay, the heavier fuel has the wider tuning window, the bigger tuning window. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the oxygenated fuels. We sell the Outlaw 11002 leaded. The MON is a 108. The RON is a 117. The SG is a 0.711. So the RM/2 is a 112.5. Okay. This is increased torque and horsepower over standard race fuel. Great circle track crate engine fuel. Engines pull harder off the corners and fire quicker on the restarts. Drag racing results are lower ETs and added consistency. For race engines up to 13.5 compression, it requires increased fuel volume in most applications. Okay, and then we carry an Outlaw 11402 leaded. The MON is a 112. The RON is a 118 plus. The SG is a 0.716. The RM/2 is a 115 plus. The 11402 leaded is a great oxygenated fuel built along the same lines as our 11002 for applications that require more octane protections. Applications up to 14.5 to 1 compression. Increased torque and horsepower over standard race fuel. Requires increased fuel volume in most applications. Okay. And then we carry a 11802 leaded. The MON is a 116. The RON is a 120. The SG is a 0.712. And the RM/2 is a 118. The 11802 leaded is a high octane oxygenated race fuel for race engines up to 16 to 1 compression, increased torque and horsepower over standard race fuel. Great engines, great single system engines, nitrous fuel for limited jet classes. It requires fuel volume in most applications. And then we'll move on to the nitrous ones. The nitrous the nitrous fuel. Let me find it. It's been a long night. Okay, so the nitrous ones that we carry are 116 N2O leaded, a 118 N2O leaded, a 120 N2 leaded, and a 122 NX leaded. Okay. On the 116, the MON is a 115, the RON is a 119, the SG is a 0.705, the RM/2 is a 116.5. And this is good for applications up to 14.5 to 1 compression with added nitrous up to 350 horsepower. Naturally aspirated applications up to 16 to 1 compression. This is the one that I will be running in the duster when I spray the car. There's a 118 N2O leaded. The MON is a 117. The RON is a 120. The SG is a 0.704. The RM/2 is a 118.5. And this is good for the 118 N2O leaded is applications up to 14.5 to 1 compression with added nitrous up to 500 horsepower. Naturally aspirated applications up to 16.1 compression. Okay. The hardcore 120 N2O leaded, the MON is a 120, the RON is a 120 plus, the SG is a 0.703, the RM/2 is a 120. Okay, this is the 120 N2O leaded is applications up to 14.5 to 1 compression with added nitrous up to 700 horsepower. Naturally aspirated applications up to 16.5.1 compression. Okay. And then the hardcore 122 NX leaded is probably going to be your like Pro Mod, your Outlaw 632 top sportsman cars. A lot of guys run this stuff that have high compression and spraying a shitload of nitrous. I only had one guy that I sold to that ran this stuff, and his car moved really good. So the hardcore 122 NX leaded, the MON is a 122, the RON is a 123 plus, the SG is a 0.709, the RM/2 is a 122. And that, like I said, this fuel is for some serious nitrous applications, pro mods, high boost applications. Okay. This is for maximum effort nitrous applications, Pro Mod, Top Sportsman, Outlaw 632, high boost applications, naturally aspirated maximum compression, big cubic inch application. So this is like 630, what I consider 632 is a pretty big number. Maybe not in today's standards, but back in the day it was. But this fuel is for anything from like 632 up to like a 959 Qxygenated motor or something like that. Some serious horsepower and spraying the shit out of it. So hope that helps. But I wanted to bring up some stuff with the nitrous stuff. When you run nitrous, you're gonna if your car runs on motor and nitrous like mine does, because there is certain class that I will run on nitrous, and then there's certain classes that I run on motor, and that's what I built my car for, was to be able to race multiple different classes and stuff like that. I do like a lot of index stuff. I like some heads-up stuff, but mostly like index racing for myself. It's just a preference. I honestly love all drag racing. The only thing I do not like is street, like drag cars racing on the street. Just take it from the back end of the track or do it on the track. But I don't hate on anybody, but that's one thing I will not do is street race. Did that in high school. One thing I wanted to talk to you about that's extremely important is when you heat your bottles, do not use a torch. You know, it's extremely dangerous. It's not good on the bottles. I've actually seen bottles blow up from people taking a torch and heating those. And then it's too dangerous. Again, I'm big on safety. I run 2 bottles in the duster. I have bottle heaters that run off of. I plug them into the generator and just heat the bottles up. I usually heat them up to about 1,000 pounds, and then I'll purge it down to like a 950 pounds on the nitrous bottles. That way I'm not wasting a lot of nitrous. You see a lot of guys shooting nitrous in the air for 5 minutes. It's all for show. That's all it is. It's show and wasting nitrous. Again, you can get nitrous, if you're running a single bottle in your car, you can get a bottle heater for like 250 bucks. And it's a lot safer than torching a bottle and it blowing up and killing you or other people. And it's the stress that the torch puts on the bottle is not safe as well. And then also when I run my car, I run a number 8 plug on motor, and depending on the weather, I definitely run a cooler plug when I spray it. I usually run a number 10 or a number 11 NKG plugs is what I prefer. But I run the 8s on motor, and then depending on the weather and stuff here, I run a 10 or an 11. But that's all I got. If you all have any questions about the race fuel, again, reach out to me, send me an email. My email is kingkudapike@gmail.com. It's all one word, King, K-I-N-G, Kuda, C-U-D-A, and then Pike, P-I-K-E, @gmail.com. All right, guys, y'all have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, and again, Outlaw Racing Fuels. Buy it from a local dealer if you're able to get it. All right, we'll talk to y'all later. See ya.